Braves Radio, BNet, and 680 The Fan, Kevin and McAlpin joins us right now. And Kevin, you and I have talked about Soroka from his debut in 2018 to his all-star performance last year. What devastating news for this squad. But it's a next man up scenario, so who will they have to place in that situation?
Alexa, that's a great question, and the organization is still weighing all of their options as far as what direction they want to go to fill Soroka's spot in the order. This Braves team has taken a real hit here when it comes to starting pitching depth in the first couple of weeks of the regular season. You recall Mike Fultonevich was designated for assignment last week, so he's out of the picture. Cole Hamels is still dealing with a triceps injury. He's out until at least September the 1st. Now you have Mike Soroka going down. So this rotation, of course, you had Felix Hernandez in camp with you as well. A move that most fans probably didn't think a whole lot of at the time back in February, but he was pitching extremely well, but he decided to opt out before the season started. So the Braves do have some internal candidates, and that's likely where they're going to start. We all know how tough pulling off a trade will be here this early on. I would think Bryce Wilson, young right-hander, would be the first option. They also have a couple veterans. You know, Josh Tomlin served that long relief role last season, but he's really done a nice job coming out of the Braves pen as well here in 2020. So, they have Ian Anderson, top pitching prospect. They have Tucker Davidson, a young left-hander. But again, this rotation right now is averaging about 24 years old. I think ideally they'd like to find somebody with a little bit more experience, but for now, it does seem like they'll continue to go young, and I would expect, at least for the first time or two through the rotation in Soroka's spot, it would probably end up being Bryce Wilson, who we've seen get a couple of stints here at the big league level. It hasn't worked. He hasn't stuck around for an extended period of time, but if I had to guess, I would think that's the guy we see on the mound in 4 more days.
Speaking of going young, obviously we know that Ronald Acuna Jr. is a big star for this lineup. 20 strikeouts, leads the league, not so fun, but he's starting to turn it around. What do they need to do in order to get him consistent?
Just keep him going at the top of the order. I mean, look, this is a guy we all know when Ronald Acuna Jr. heats up, he can put an offense on his back for a week or two. He had a slow start. He was 4 for 28. He was leading the world in strikeouts, but lately things are starting to click a little bit better here for Ronald. In the Mets series, in that 4-game set, he was 6 for 17. 4 of those 6 hits were for extra bases. He got his first home run of the season. He did a curtain call for the cardboard cutout fans who were seated behind the Braves dugout here in Atlanta. But again, he's a guy that's been a slow starter throughout the course of his very brief big league career. But again, when he heats up, watch out. He can put an offense on its back. So we all know the offense went from averaging about 3 runs a game to about 5.5 runs per game when they moved him to the leadoff spot last season. So we're going to continue to see him at the top of the order. It's just a matter of time. And again, I think when you look at this Mets series, there were some really encouraging signs. The at-bats got better. He was going to right and right center field a lot more. He was drawing his walks, finding ways to get on base. So I'm encouraged by what we've seen out of Ronald here the last 4 or 5 days. And I think it's, again, when he heats up, watch out.
Scott and I were encouraged by that curtain call. We loved that. Let the kids play. Yeah, it's cool to see the Braves getting it done there at home. 5 of their wins there, and they're going to host the Blue Jays for the next 3. Thanks, Kevin.